Dealing with chronic fatigue. A, it's not easy. B, it's not in your head. C, some tactics. All the things that work for fibromyalgia, and as far as good nutrition and taking care of yourself, getting plenty of rest at night, all these things are equally important for chronic fatigue, especially as chronic fatigue is a second syndrome of fibromyalgia. Chronic fatigue itself can come from many different causes. If you are in a situation where you're dealing with chronic fatigue, you have to imagine yourself like a cell phone with a damaged battery. You know how when the battery gets low and it just won't charge all the way anymore, and you can only do a certain amount of things in a certain amount of hours before the battery goes completely dead and it just quits working? That's chronic fatigue. Your battery is never fully charged. The fatigue is relentless. And you have less energy than other people to do life. And also with post-exertional fatigue, if you pass the threshold of what your body is capable of doing, if you cross that energy battery, you drain your battery and you try to do more, which can be really enticing on a day that you happen to feel better, because your life when you have flu-like fatigue daily, basic things of life can fall behind very easily if you're just pushing to get through your days, keep yourself clean, keep your house clean, and go to your job if you still have one. That's all you can manage. There's a lot more to life than that, and things fall apart very quickly. So you can be really inclined to try to make up for lost time when you do feel better, and you overdo it. On those days that you are not as tired, you're catching up on all the housework, going on dates with your spouse or partner, having playtime with the kids, rough and tumble, doing workouts, exceeding the limits of what you would typically do, trying to make up for lost time. Mending relationships, holding up life, physical fitness, catching up on housework and to-dos. The thing with chronic fatigue syndrome, regardless of its cause, is that physical and mental exertion exacerbates your symptoms. You are intolerant. Instead of getting the average person of average health investing their brain and investing their physical energies will make them gradually fitter, stronger, more capable. It actually makes you sicker if you pass a certain threshold. So you need to get to know your body and your own particular limits. Consider yourself, again, like that half-full battery on a cell phone. If that were the case, you would be very careful how and where you spent those moments. You wouldn't just scroll the internet until your phone died. You wouldn't aimlessly waste that battery. You would make time for telephoning your children. You would make time for telephoning your spouse. You'd make time for critical to-dos, critical contacts in a day. And you would find ways to do so that would save the battery. Even if you're feeling better, because if you're feeling better, you will pay for that later for overdoing that threshold of what your battery can handle. So get to know your own limits. You can get a pedometer and keep a diary of what you get up to in a day, and over the next couple days, because the post-exertional fatigue usually comes later, how exhausted you are, how sick you get, and you can sort of backtrack when you might have crossed that threshold. Take stock when you wake up in the morning of your body. Connect with your body and see how your body feels. See how strong or not strong. See where that energy bar is for the day, and use it carefully. Try to take care of the priorities first, and those priorities also include your family and your relationships, your work, etc. And make things more manageable for yourself where you can. If you need to sit down to do the dishes, you need to sit down to do the dishes. You're not being lazy, you're sick. If it saves the energy so that you can go to your job and not lose your job, it's worth doing. It's really easy to really rapidly get physically deconditioned with chronic fatigue syndrome because your body is intolerant to mental and physical exertion, that you can have a rebound effect. But if you're careful where you spend your energies, you can multitask. Like today I was so sick, I think I'm tapped out. I could not do my yoga. I could not do anything. I'm trying to talk myself into a few more things I want to get done before my job today. I feel really not well. I think I'm paying post-exertional fatigue right now, and it's making the very basics almost insurmountable. So instead of exercise per se, I swept and cleaned my kitchen floors, changed the trash cans, changed the cat litter, did basic housework, simple things like that to move your body as much as you possibly can in a day. It's still going to be good for your physical health, because deconditioning will make you more tired. Activity is good, but you have to keep that activity within a certain parameter. If you exceed your parameter, it will make you more sick. And that sickness could be unpredictable. It could show up days to a week later, so it seems like it comes out of nowhere, and there's no rhyme, no reason to it. And the rhyme, no reason is that you exceeded what you were capable of because you felt good, you were starting to improve, and you overdid it and you backslid. So check your battery daily. Don't surpass what you're capable of. Try to move as much as possible, but a traditional exercise regime may not be good for you. You may want to consider simple, slow things like Tai Chi and yoga, and your exercise may be cleaning the house. That may be what you're capable of. For the day, you might have to push yourself a little bit every day to do anything. But you have to keep it in balance and don't overdo it. Eventually you'll find your way. It's really bad for a body to be sedentary. But when your body resists and gets sick when you exert it, you're really caught between a rock and a hard place. So try to stay as physical as you can, creatively physical, and track your symptoms and learn what your limit is and try to stay right within that limit and not surpass it, and think critically where you're spending your energy through the day, physical and mental. And again, think commit to asking serious questions of the people who have diagnosed you. The totality of the reasons why you have wound up in this situation, concomitant illnesses, post-viral syndrome, other reasons, and get ample documentation for your job if you intend to keep it. There may be accommodations that can be made, there may not. It may be to a point where you are disabled. It may go away. It may not. You may never feel like yourself again. That's something that may require therapy and counseling to learn to cope with living with this situation. And this situation can put great strain on relationships, your family, your kids, your friendships, your intimate relationships can be greatly impacted. So definitely have joint conversations with your treatment team and your loved ones about the condition, your particular situation, the validity of your physical capacities, and what exhaustion and fatigue truly means to you, that your body really is not capable of doing more than you are doing, that you are doing the best that you can, because you don't look sick and people don't believe in chronic fatigue syndrome unless you find yourself trapped in it. How could you know? But your limited capacity to participate in life at its most basic levels can cause clinical depression, which just worsens things because it's difficult to cope with. Never feeling normal again, never feeling able to be with your loved ones the way you want to be in your life the way you want to be, never feeling well every day, not being able to contribute the way you want to, sometimes not at all. And so you may need professional counseling, and you really need your friends and family on board, because you don't need things that strain you, and losing loved ones over your condition can strain you. People can comprehend when it comes to things like cancer, chronic fatigue, when it comes to things like MS, chronic fatigue. But when your symptom is, your core diagnosis has yet to be uncovered, or is complicated and convoluted, kind of like what bits and pieces of mine are coming together, as to what's causing chronic fatigue in your life, it can be harder for them to accept this new version of yourself that you didn't get into by choice. No one would choose this, and not see you as just having become someone that they don't want to be around anymore. And that would be heartbreaking. So try to include your friends and family. Try to get as much documentation as you can for your job. Accommodations can be made. And get as much facts as you can. Work within the energy you're given on a daily basis. Try not to surpass it. Try to think priority, where you spend your energy. Try to think movement as much as you can. Usefully. And try to not lose heart living in this way.